Actually, it's gonna be even cooler than that. You're gonna become the host.
Okay. Do I need to record? I should.
I'm it onto YouTube, so you
Are
shouldn't.
you already doing it? Okay. Okay, so there is no need for me to record locally, right?
Nope.
Okay, that's great. Okay, yeah, maybe we have a short break of 5 minutes, Isabel, for you to rest for a while, and then yeah, and then I will move everybody to the panelists shortly.
So you're becoming a host. You're the full. You're now
Okay, thank
a
you.
full host. Sugeng,
Okay,
thank you very much.
thank you. So I just stop. Do I need to stop the streaming or I just
You won't need to. I mean, you can if you want, but you can then just leave the meeting and it'll turn off, and
I
then I'll
just
get a
I
notification.
just I just end the meeting, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let's have a 5 minutes break to quarter past 10 Beijing time, Singapore time, 7, quarter past 7 Arizona time, and then we'll reconvene for discussion.
Thank you, Sugeng. Have a nice
Thank you. Thank you, team.
morning.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Sí, Jaso. Hola. ¿Sigues en la playa? Súper chido. Órale, si encuentras un lugar barato me dices. Ah, sí.
Is that Gina? Wow, you look so different.
Ah, de veras.
Gina Rivera's? Wow, you look so
Sorry
different.
again, I cannot hear you because I
You
am in
cannot hear me?
the Spanish channel.
You can hear me?
Ah,
You should. No? Okay.
hi, how are you? Now I am
I'm good.
in.
You look so different.
Yes, I inked my hair.
Ah, I see. Wow.
I
Much
have
more.
I had a friend and I have to plant the seed with him because he don't have much work. He put a place for cutting the hair.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, I plant the seed.
So nice of you.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for staying back. Okay, it's 7:15 Arizona time, so let's start our session. Is there any question from the group? Anything you all of you want to discuss? Even better if you want to turn on your video. Otherwise, it is kind of lonely here. Fernando is switching off the video. Yeah, let's turn on the video. We have just have a relaxing discussion on the topics that we covered. Hopefully, I know how to answer. Yeah, thank you, Mary. Adam's mom? Yeah. How are you? Wow. Isabel, thank you. Isabel is translating for me. Yeah, I think there are still a lot of Chinese people. Okay, anything all of you want to discuss? If not, then we call it a day. Oh. How do you all like the session so far? Juan is interpreting. How do you all like the session so far? These 2 days. Yeah, thank you, Mary. So, the rest of the people, I'm looking at the list and looks like all of you can hear me okay? Loud enough? Okay, good. Loud enough. I see a lot of names here, but people are just... Christy, thank you for turning on your video. I saw one question in the Q&A box by Rixin Dorje, but I don't think that's a question. That's more like a comment. What Jonah burned in the belly of the whale? Vasubandu palm leaf? I don't know, maybe. So, wow. All of you are still so shy. Yvonne, yeah, thank you. Enjoying diving in the ocean? Catherine? Okay. Okay, when I look at the schedule and Nick put me as number one, or rather, Nick put me as the first person to answer the Q&A, I was kind of happy, Yeah, I'm the first one, because normally the first one, people are still shy. They don't ask questions, As compared to the last one, after the first one, everybody will start to ask questions. Juan, you are the translator. Why are you asking me? Juan is a translator. You are supposed to help me answer the question, Okay, the circle of the wheel of life in 3 lifetimes. Yeah. Yeah, typically in the wheel of life, people like to well, I mean, before I went deep into the learning of this wheel of life, I thought it happens one life per circle. But after we went in, dive into the circle more deeply, I realized that typically the will is considered to happen in 3 lifetimes. Yeah, so the first and the second so the first one will cause the second, that will trigger the second will trigger the third, and so on. So it is said that the second will trigger the third, but this third will happen in the next lifetime. So our third link in this lifetime should have come from the second link from the previous life. And then we go on. 3 trigger 4, 4 trigger 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 is the ripen, and then 11 will happen in the next life. So that makes the circle is to be completed in 3 lifetimes. Yeah. Wow, I see all the questions are coming in. So yeah, so that is typically the 3 lifetimes that we are talking about. And if you go deeper, if you think further, second link will trigger the third link in the next lifetime. And then if you realize that in this lifetime we are triggering a lot of link number 1 that will trigger link number 2, and then if you imagine that link number 2 trigger the link number 3 in the next lifetime, imagine how many lifetime you may have already triggered by having the misunderstanding. Yeah. So it's not just we trigger the first link once and then we trigger our third link once. If every moment we have the misunderstanding, we are triggering link number 1 that will trigger link number 2 that will trigger link number 3, it's kind of scary. How many next lives are we triggering by being ignorant of the misunderstanding of the link number 1? You know? And then another realization that I learned is that as long as we don't stop the misunderstanding, we are triggering the next life endlessly. Well, that's kind of scary, you know. That's kind of scary. When we talk about this life, this will is as a will of suffering. We want to quickly end the will. We want to quickly end all the wills. We want to stop the wills from being reproduced every time. And thinking that link number 2 is triggering link number 3, triggering next life endlessly, that is kind of scary. So, yeah. And yeah, thank you, Mary, for the comment. Yeah, all these books tied together, it really makes sense. And understanding from one book will lead us to understand the other books more easily. And yeah, by listening carefully to all the books, all the discussions, it helps us to appreciate the content of the other books at the same time. That is my take on this. And then Arya asked the next question: which kind of misunderstanding will lead to the first branch of the Wheel of Life? Arya was in my group in the SCIM term, and she asked me this question, and I postponed the answer. Arya, do you want to turn on your video so for people to see you? Okay, she's shy. What kind of misunderstanding will lead to the first branch of the Wheel of Life? We say it's the view of destruction. It's a view of destruction. And what is this view of destruction? It's basically it consists of not understanding the cause and effect, not understanding the cause and effect. So that was what Geshe Michael just now discussed in Adam's book, right? If that happens, this happens. So that is basically the basis of the cause and effect. If we don't understand the cause and effect, that is the first misunderstanding. Yeah. And then the second component of that is that misunderstanding of me and mine. Me and mine. Yeah. This is me. Mine refers to my parts. This is me. This is my parts. This belongs to me. You know, that that misunderstanding is the these two components are the main idea that will trigger the first link of the wheel of life. So we are learning so many things here, basically because we want to get out of this misunderstanding. And Mary has a good question. If we can reach enlightenment and help all sentient beings to end their suffering, will they still have to go through all 12 branches? Well, first of all, we need to understand what is this will, what this will is all about. This will is the, I would say, the metaphor of the suffering in this life, suffering in the 6 realms, and the suffering refers to that basically there are 3 kinds of suffering that we talk about, right? The suffering of suffering, all the negative things, falling sick, heartbroken, don't have money, you know, all these are the suffering of suffering. And then secondly is the suffering of change. I call it the suffering of the positive. Seeds are being used up, you know. Suffering of the positive means today I have money, but if I don't continue to replant the seeds, my money will run out. Today I have a good relationship with my wife, but if I don't plant the seeds, when the seeds run out, I will not have a good relationship, and so on. Or even the health. I have a good health, but if I don't continue to plant the seeds, my health will run out. This is the second suffering. So suffering of the negative, suffering of the positive, and the last one, pervasive suffering. Suffering because of the existence in the of being born. So we want to get out of this will, meaning that we want to get out of all these sufferings. And when we talk about enlightenment entails 2 things. The getting out of the will, which represents the mental affliction, the negative emotions. And then second part is that the correct worldview, understanding about the, Geshe Michael used the term pen story, or the 2 husbands in the kitchen. So if we get out of the will, that means we are out of the 12 branches. That is halfway through the enlightenment. So we have not even reached enlightenment. So if we can get out of the will, that means we don't have to go through the 12 branches. So to answer Mary's question, basically enlightenment is much further along the way, meaning that we are already out of the will, and then we have also completed the correct worldview. So yeah, they don't have to go through these 12 branches. Okay, Arya, are you happy with my answer, or is it too simple for you? Okay, and anybody else has a... Okay. Yay, Arya appeared.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Our
it looks,
AC. Thank you.
it feels better, when you turn on your video. At least I can see you. Yeah, Luca. Thank you for turning on the video.
我还有一个，
Okay,
对，我还有一个问题可以提问吗？
Hi. Okay, Arya will speak in Chinese and then we'll translate to English for Juan. Or maybe Juan can translate directly to Spanish from Chinese. We never know. Yeah, Arya, please. Arya? 你没有开啊 OK.
I want to ask her and 就是我还是试着用中文去表达吧。就是我们的一颗种子打开，那它是怎么样通过我们的五欲嘛，五欲五种感官。那他为什么会选择说用我们的耳朵，或者是通过我们的眼睛，只是通过一种感官去跟外界接触呢？
Okay.
而不是说多种感官。Thank you.
Okay. Question from Arya is that when the seed opens, it will open through one of the organs, sense organs. So how does the seed determine which sense organ to come out rather than all? Is that the question? Okay. So, well, if I were to look at it from the wheel of life, there is no mention about which sense of organ the seeds will open. And in fact, from the wheel of life itself, we only say that it will go through the sense organ, the 5 or 6 sense organs, as represented by the fifth link, which is the house with 6 windows, right? So it is talking about the seeds going to come out from the sense organs before it interacts with the outer world. So if strictly from the wheel of life, we can only say that the seeds itself will open according to the nature. So there is really no answer on this one, and I would say that there should be something else that determine how the seeds will open through the sense organ. Yeah. So in short, I can only say I don't know. From the wheel of life, I really don't know how which sense organ it will choose. I don't know. Anybody has any other opinion on this one? Yeah, I really don't know. Yeah, there could be some other factor that will determine which sense organ the seeds will open. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Alaya Vijnana, the storehouse consciousness. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I saw another notes in the chat by Rixin Doje. Since all beings contain Buddha nature, there is nothing to fix or liberate, and bodhisattvas deliberately manifest like lotus in mud. I think we had a discussion about this topic a while ago. I don't remember when. I don't remember when was it, and I remember I had this discussion with some of the people, and I think if I remember correctly, there is this discussion about the Buddha nature. The discussion about this Buddha nature. Well, I think there are. I would approach from the statement that Rixi Dogen wrote here. Since all beings contain Buddha nature, there is nothing to fix or liberate. So, if we were to go into the division of the Buddha's body, right? So this we always say that Buddha nature is 1/4 of the Buddha's body, is part of the Buddha's mind. So we divide the Buddha's body into the Rupa Kaya and the Dhamma Kaya, right? The physical body and the Dhamma body. And we know the physical body consists of the Sambhoga Kaya, the enjoyment, and the what's the term? Huasan. I forgot the English name. Emanation. So the enjoyment and the emanation body, and then the Dhamma body is the and then the Dhamma body is the Buddha's nature and the emptiness of the Buddha's mind, right? So based on this 4 division, the Buddha nature is 25%, 1/4 of the Buddha's body, right? So I was saying there was a discussion on this one, and I think it was pretty I would say it was pretty what do you call that? It was pretty controversial in our discussion. So maybe I shouldn't bring it up here. But coming back to here is 1/4. 1/4. So yes, we don't have to fix the Buddha's nature, the 1/4. But what about the 3/4? You know. So based on this simple logic, I would say that we still need to work on the 3/4. Yeah, 1/4 is a good size, and it will give us a good start. But the 3/4 is also important. We still need to work on the 3/4. And if we and then we talk about how do we have the physical body, and how do we have the Rupa Kaya, and how do we have the Dhamma Kaya, right? So Rupa Kaya is produced by our deeds, our virtues, and then Dhammakaya is produced by our wisdom, methods and wisdom, right? The methods, the ways, the methods, the top sharap method and wisdom. So we still need to work on them. So we still need to fix. We still need to work on all the remaining. And Bodhisattva deliberately manifests like lotus in mud. Yeah. So the analogy of this is that Bodhisattva deliberately live or appear in the mud, so that they can become a lotus, so that they can perfect their practice, so that they can have the perfection. So it's so beautiful, right? Yeah. So I think yeah, I think we really need to remember that we are just like Bodhisattva. We are just like a lotus. We are living among the mud, and we really need to perfect our practice. Let me have a quick look at the link provided. Yeah, Alaya Vijnana. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Rixin Dojo, you want to let us know why you give the link here? Is that related to the statement or the seeds? Okay. The seeds. So you want, this is related to your statement, is that right? Ah, yeah, talking about the Buddha nature, right? Tathagata Garbha.
The Tathagata Garbha, the seeds, actually, the imperfections are the perfections. There are actually,
Sorry, is somebody saying something?
yeah, Richard was saying.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you are pretty soft.
Okay, let me see.
Can you move closer to your mic? I can't really hear you.
Yeah, I turned off my Bluetooth.
Oh, okay,
So
that's good. Yeah.
yeah, now I can talk directly to the phone. Thank you. My comment just was regarding the Tathagata Garbha and the potentiality, the seeds. These imperfections are actually the biju that grow the lotus. Yeah. So there's nothing really to perfect. Originally, the seed grows into the lotus in the alaya, bija, the samskara. The impressions that we are, the predilections that we're born with. This is our karmic body that we bring with us, the stuff in which we bring with us to obtain the spiritual path. There's really, if it's not something that we have to rid, like there's not like whack-a-mole. You don't look at the world like you have to fix everything, liberate all the beings. There's really not anything to liberate. Everything was perfect already. The bija is perfect. That's because why? Tathagata Garbha, it's in the Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava.
I see. So you are saying that because of this Buddha nature, Tathagata Garbha, things already have the perfect nature in themselves, and there is nothing else to liberate. Is that what you're saying?
You just it's if you're to really liberate one's view, then it's maybe a bad habit to look at the world with the idea that everything needs to go around and fix, and all the beings are imperfect, and you have to go and liberate them all. This is fundamentally an imperfect view, not a good approach. It's whack-a-mole. You cannot fix every whack. You can whack that mole and then whack that one over there. You're not going to fix the moles. They keep popping up. So
Okay.
it's just not a good approach to fixing the problem. The moles are just naturally in the ground. It's okay. That's just
Okay.
the nature of the ground. The
Okay.
seeds
Yeah.
in the ground are the nature of the Tathagata Garbha, and the seeds will naturally grow and glow into a lotus. That's okay.
Okay. I like your ideas here. I like what you are thinking. And I would say, again, I like to borrow Geshe Michael's term here. We need to know what hat we are wearing, okay? As in which school are we are talking about. So the fact that you give the link that is talking about the Alaya Vijnana, I would like to assume that you are talking about the mind only. You are approaching it from the mind only school as compared to the Madhyamika, the middle way, right? So yeah, if we already, I would say even in the mind only school. Sorry, you're saying?
It comes from a Yogacarya tradition. Yes.
I'm sorry, you are soft. You are too soft. I can't really hear you.
This philosophy comes from the Yogacarya.
Yes, that's right. Yogacarya, or mind only, or Chittamatra, right? Well, even when we talk about the Yogacarya school, right? We talk about all the seeds are kept in the Alaya Vijnana, and then what we see outside is actually part of the seeds that also produce us. So from this perspective, what we see, then we can come to a we can agree that what we see outside, whether they are good or they are bad, they are also coming from our seeds, right? They are also coming from the same seeds, from our seeds. So I think we can agree that I think you are also correct to say that since Buddha nature is there, it is already perfect. So there is nothing to perfect outside. Yeah, because they have their own Buddha nature. And along the same thinking, we can also say that the seeds is also coming from inside. So, if we see it's perfect, it's good, means that we just let it blossom naturally. But on the other hand, if we see the mud surrounding the lotus, it is also coming from our seeds. So we see both the lotus and the mud, and it's good to focus on the lotus, on the Tathagata Garbha. But on the other hand, it is also good for us to look at the mud as well and realize that those are coming from our seeds. And when I talk about perfection, I think it is talking about making the mud. I would say, making the mud to become a beautiful environment making the mud into, I would say, Buddha's paradise. So yeah. So eventually we still need to work on our seeds to make so I use the term perfect here, to perfect the whole thing, our practice, and to have the lotus living in the Buddha's paradise. So yeah, and again, I agree with you that we shouldn't be like you say, whack-a-mole. We just whack a-mole, whack everything, whack-a-mole, whack everything, because we think that we need to fix them, So we always need to come back to ourselves and I would say fix what is in us that make us see the mud in the first place. Yeah, so this is what I would say. So instead of looking at things as coming to us, and we want to whack them all to liberate, to fix and liberate them, I would suggest that we look internally, and so rather than seeing the lotus in the mud, maybe I can make it to see the lotus in the Buddha's paradise. And I like very much the I don't know, I'm still very much influenced by the Medicine Buddha's retreat that we went through in December. So the idea there is that we should change, or rather we should create our environment into Buddha's paradise, as in we have the choice to make it into Buddha's paradise. And yeah, I think I like that idea very much. So yeah, I hope that addressed the questions. Anybody else has anything to discuss? For some of you who might not be aware, in DCI level 12, Geshe Michael has invented the ideas of the archaeological digs, archaeological layers, to represent the schools, the different schools. So some of you might have heard it when we had the Mixed Nuts Reading Club last Friday. Oh yeah, last Friday. And then you might also hear some of us referring to the schools as archaeological layers. Like Geshe Michael, he mentioned just now, he talked about the accountant. So accountant is representing the Abhidhamma school. And then he used the term map maker for the sutris, for the logician, for the clear thinker. And then for the mind only, he used the term hippies. Hippies, mind only. Yeah, mind only is also called the Yogacara or Chittamatra, right? The Abhidhamma school is called Vaibhasika, and then the Sutris is called Sautantrika. And then for the middle way, Geshe Michael is using the term swimmer, swimmer, because in the swimming competition, you need to swim on your lane. You shouldn't be moving to the left or the right. So swimmer is the middle way, and lower middle way is the shallow end. Higher middle way is the deeper end. So yeah, Geshe Michael used these terms, interesting terms. I think it helps me to visualize better. Yeah. Hypocrites mind only. Okay. Well, no, hippies. He called it hippies, not hypocrites. Hippies. The hippies, because the hippies have had many new ideas. They had many new ideas. Oh, he even used the term psychedelics. Psychedelics, but psychedelics is a bit negative. So personally, I like to use the term hippies. Yeah. So yeah, mind only had many I would say ideas, radical ideas, like the hippies did in the past. Yeah. So get used to hearing all these terms, especially during the from now on. I believe, I think once we get used to the terms, those are pretty convenient to use. Hypocrites want all the fancy and zen at the same time. Yeah, they want everything. Yeah. Hypocrites. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Gina, how are you? So you are in Mexico City or Guadalajara? Are you in Mexico City or Guadalajara?
Guadalajara.
Oh, okay.
Guadalajara.
So it's what? It's 9 o'clock now, correct? 9 p.m. Oh, okay. You look fresh, huh? You look fresh. Amazing. Yeah. Wow. How many years have we not met? 3 years? I think 3 years, right? 2 years. 2019. Okay. It felt very long. Wow. Okay. Anybody else? I saw Sophie. One more. Okay. Etymology of the word scar and sanskara. Okay. Scar. Okay. And sanskara. I don't know. Scar and sanskara? What are you trying to say? Yeah, I mean, we are in the sansara. So yeah, we have lots of scars.
Yeah, there was one really interesting discussion where we were talking through the karma that you bring with you from the past life.
Okay, I
And
see.
I wanted to maybe suggest the technical term
Ah,
samskara rather than using karma from the past life.
ah,
Etymologically, the word scar, the impression that's left in your flesh from a past wound, is samskara, which is actually, the predilections that guide one to take birth in a particular circumstance at the moment of inception based on what? That past karmic impression. So a karmic impression, or some people would say maybe an Ibrahimic residue, maybe lead you to become, born in a Christian circumstance because you're attracted to that, in your spiritual nature. Or you may become born as some other being in an animal realm because you're attracted to that in the impressions of your nature. So
yeah,
samskara is what carries that scar, that's all the trauma from all of your past lives.
yeah. I think it's for in the negative sense, it is it gives a good metaphor of the karma as scar. So yeah, we bring with it the wound, past wound, scar. Yeah. But how about positive? Because it has to cover the positive meaning too. So I don't know
Oh, in the,
whether
in the positive sense, then you use the term predilections, right?
predilections. Yeah.
Predilections. It's the things that guide you towards either attraction or aversion, which is inseparable. That karmic matrix is sukha, right? It is what
Suka
it's
dukkha.
attraction aversion. Sukha, it's inseparable. The two are bound. Sukha. Yes.
Well, yeah, suka dukkha. Well, I mean, scar. People relate scar more to dukkha rather than sukha.
No,
So
but see, that's the predilection aspect. You might be attracted to sweets to the point where you eat so much that you have a problem with your weight. That's your the
yeah.
karmic
Well,
burden. Right? You carry it with you.
yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
the
yeah.
track of the
Predilection.
tongue.
Certain people has a certain
Predilections of the tongue. You
yeah
like them.
predilection on that one. Yeah. Well, I
It's a
mean,
good predilection.
personally, I relate this more to the negative sides rather than the positive. So
There are no negative or positives, right? All things are samsara, right?
that's true.
All
That's
things are
true.
suffering.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting for a good discussion, further discussion. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, in DCI, we are trying to use more neutral terms for modern people to embrace our ideas.
Yes, and I thank you. I am just, a sardonic imp, a fly on the wall who has absolutely no responsibility to hold a, professional image or a tie
Yeah.
whatsoever. I can, be just a fly in the soup and come in and out, and leave a stain of mud if I care to.
Yeah.
Thank you for the forum. I appreciate
Yeah.
it greatly.
I think stain can be a good term, but I don't know. Stain also negative. Yeah, we can't say positive stain.
This is why I like to use the term sardonic imp because,
What?
it's
What term?
to use sardonic.
Sardonic.
Sardonic,
Oh,
sardonic,
sardonic.
it's
Okay. Oh, wow.
sardonic,
Sardonic.
as we were examining with logic, the nature of the teachings with the tool of sarcasm, right?
Okay.
To test them, then we use a little bit of sarcasm, a little bit of humor, a little bit of edginess. It helps us to sharpen our intellect, to anneal the blade, to
Okay.
hone the
Yeah. So yeah, I hope our translators can follow our discussions. We are using all the terms which are interesting. Uh, okay, we are at the hour. So thank you very much for your participation. Thank you very much for the discussion, especially Rixin Dorje and Arya and somebody else, right? Oh yeah, Mary. Yeah, Mary. So yeah, good vocabulary training, Isabel. I'm wondering whether you got the last term, sardonic. Anyway, okay. Thank you very much for your time, and we shall see you on the western side of the globe. See you tomorrow morning. On the eastern side of the globe, see you tonight. Yeah, sardonic. Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, and see all of you again, and thank you very much for supporting the Mixed Nuts program. Okay, this is very dear to Geshu Michael, and it is also very dear to me. I'm doing whatever I can to promote this program to everybody. So, bye bye. See you. I'm going to
Thank
end the
you,
call.
Sugeng.
Thank you.